Hi, my name is Jacqueline, and today we'll be talking about andragogy and how it relates to my final project. So andragogy is referring to the process of adult learning. It is the opposite of pedagogy, which refers to children learning. So there are 6 assumptions that we're going to talk about today that relates to both andragogy and pedagogy, but we're going to focus on andragogy. So these assumptions are the need to know, learner self-concept, the experience of the learner, the readiness to learn, the orientation to learning, and motivation. So the first assumption we're going to talk about is the need to know. So for children, they need to know the information because it's going to help them pass the class. But when it comes to adults, it comes down to why are we learning this? What is the purpose of this? So in my final project, I will incorporate the need to know by making sure to give a clear explanation of why this teaching is important. The second assumption that we're going to be talking about is self-concept. So for children, it's very teacher-directed. They don't have much responsibility when it comes to learning because it relies heavily on the teacher. When it comes to adults, the responsibility is placed back on them and is not as teacher dependent, it's more learner-centered. And this is because they have the responsibilities to make their own life choices, their own decisions. So again, I think it goes back to making sure that they know that they have the decision on how they go about the learning. So they can make the decision to do the task or not do the task. It's just really up to them. And they need to, and I think that they need to go, and if they want more information, it's their responsibility after the teaching to go on and learn more about it. The third assumption we're going to be talking about is experience. Adults have much more experience than children because they've lived a longer time, so they have more experience in learning concepts and things like that. So for my video, I think I will skip over the very basic foundations because there's a good chance that anyone watching already knows that information, and so we'll really jump into the content that I intend for them to learn. The fourth assumption that we're going to talk about is the readiness to learn. So for andragogy, this means that the adults they are ready to learn if it applies to their life. If it doesn't apply to their life, they're not as ready to learn because it doesn't matter to them. So for this assumption, I will make sure to explain how this applies to their life and what benefits they're going to get from it. The fifth assumption that we're going to talk about is the orientation to learning. So for children, this is very subject matter dependent. When it comes to andragogy, it's more task and life centered. So again, I think it goes back to explaining how this is going to benefit their life. What are they going to get out of it? And then the sixth assumption that we're going to talk about is motivation. So for pedagogy, this is very external motivated. So it's things like better grades, but when it comes to adults, they are more internally motivated than externally motivated, so they want to know how this is going to get them better jobs or an increased pay, things like that. So I think for this assumption, I will explain why this is going to benefit them. What are they going to get out of this teaching? Thank you.